G'day, Hope here, back with the Gopher Tortoise stories, and we're on our way to the ranch to go and meet Chris Kennedy. He is the wildlife expert that we'll be meeting over there, who's going to be helping us relocate these wonderful gopher tortoises. So come along with us.
This is a gopher tortoise burrow. We're about halfway done digging it. So I'll take you to the next burrow. I'll show you an undisturbed burrow so you get a better picture. But at the mouth of the gopher tortoise burrow is what we call an apron. And gopher tortoises are really clean critters, right? They like the mouth of their burrow and basically the pathway of the burrow to be clean and free of vegetation and debris. This is what we call an apron. This sandy area right in front, this is all the dirt from the bottom of the burrow. They're pushing it up and it creates an apron for them to hang out on. They spend a lot of time on that apron. We're about almost to the bottom of this burrow. That's what the PVC pipes are for. So when we do a gopher tortoise burrow excavation, we put PVC pipes in there so we don't lose the path of the burrow. Because the last thing we want to do is dig a hole, lose a burrow, and accidentally lose a gopher tortoise down there.
Is there a camera or anything where you can see?
We can scope the burrow. I did not bring a burrow scope today.
Okay.
Usually we use burrow scoping to determine occupancy when we do population surveys for gopher tortoises. That happens a lot on recipient sites, like where these guys are going. So these guys are going to Durham West. That's a brand new gopher tortoise recipient site through S&S. Got that one permitted. So they're going to be the first tortoises on perfect habitat. So we're pretty excited about that.
So those recipient sites, people always ask, well, I've got good property, I can go throw it on my... No, it's got to go through the Fish and Wildlife Commission, it's got to be permitted, and typically they have a requirement for it to be permitted. Usually some restoration has to occur, and then we have to develop a habitat management plan. So we don't just take them out there, put them out there and walk away. We've actually got to have a habitat management plan. They've got to, they like this type of environment, so we have to have burn cycles. We have to do all of that for forever, basically, on that property. So that property can never be developed. That's a conservation easement then with Fish and Wildlife Commission. It can be never done. So they're basically going to their forever home somewhere else.
Oh, okay. So how do they find their ways to these areas that aren't conservatory habitats?
Perfect habitat. Beautiful habitat, right? So they like deep, sandy soils and open canopy with plenty of grasses and forbs for them to eat. That's pretty much what they eat. They also love berries, right? They love blueberries, blackberries, and then forbs and grasses, right? So this is great habitat for them. These soils are sandy and deep. So this is the perfect site for them. What I think happened here, so this used to be sand pine plantation. You see at the edge of the habitat, there's a bunch of sand pine. So I think what would happen is somebody came in here and timbered all their planted pine, that's normal. That's rotational timber is something that we do a lot in Florida. But when they came in and timbered all of that sand pine, they opened up this canopy and allowed for a lot of understory species, grasses, and forbs to come through because there wasn't 100% shade in that canopy. So it just so happened it turned out to be perfect habitat for gopher tortoises. They moved in and now we're going to relocate them to a safe spot.
This is actually a lot easier to permit than wetland areas typically. We kind of joke with our clients, do you want to play with gopher tortoise or do you want to play with wetlands? Because that's really what we have in the state of Florida. So they're going to go to Calhoun County. That's where they're going to go live forever.
Okay.
As soon as development stops and it starts becoming, less pressure and, less movement, less trucks on site, stuff like that, gopher tortoises will move in because they like your high sandy soils. They spend a lot of time at the mouth of their burrow. I think 90% of the time they're hanging out at the mouth of their burrow. A lot of times it depends on other pressure from trucks, human activity. Depending on that, they like to stay close to their burrow so they got somewhere to run and hide. If there's no pressure and it's a very natural areas all around, they can move pretty far from their burrow. We've seen them up to a mile away from their burrow. A lot of the time they could potentially have 2 or more burrows. So yeah, they could be all over. The reason that the gopher tortoises are protected is because they're a keystone species, meaning
We just watched the movie Hoppers about that one.
Really?
exactly hoppers, beaver dams, right? So they're a keystone species. The fact that the beaver dam gets established helps other species get homes, right? Same thing here. So gopher tortoises are a keystone species because these burrows are so deep, right?
I think they've documented up to 200 species that live in the gopher tortoise hole.
We found rattlesnakes, black racers, all sorts of stuff. One of the most famous commensal species is the indigo snake. Those are, we don't find those too much. They're an endangered species. They're pretty rare.
I can't handle, I'm not allowed to handle tortoises. Even though Chris works for me and he's our natural resource specialist, he's got to go through certain licensing with Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. He is a gopher tortoise authorized agent, which means he can do this. He can handle them, he can transport them, and relocate them. So, so he's got to have that. He has his own permit license in his name. So for him, it's a huge deal because it goes against his home license. Anywhere in the process. And that was an excavator, so we just don't go up the road and grab some guy on an excavator. John Allen does a lot of consultants, and he does so you know, Chris is telling him to move that bucket where he wants it moved, how much further down. They'll work, you know, they're communicating. They've worked together for a lot of years now, and they'll communicate back and forth about where to move that bucket. He did not find one. He got all the way to the hole and didn't get one. Nope.
No dice. No.
Do you want to go show them in the back of the truck?
Yeah, let's go see some tortoises. So we got to the bottom of the burrow. Sort of how we know that they're there is you'll see a bunch of like gopher tortoise dung and crickets.
So you know it's been there.
Yeah. Prickly pear is a great forage species for the gopher tortoise. Sometimes, if you find old ones on your site, they'll have adorable little gopher tortoise chomps out of them. It's really cute. We put gopher tortoises in these buckets. These are little transport bins. Oh, we've got some ventilation in there. This soil we get from the very bottom of the burrow, just so it smells like home.
Yeah.
Helps them not be so stressed when they move around.
See how his claws up on the front for digging?
Oh yeah.
When he's coming up, you can really, I mean, there's a lot of power in those claws.
Yeah, and they're really strong. They're really strong. I mean, they dig those 16-foot deep burrows, right? So they have a lot of upper body strength.
It's tough to.
See those claws? Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, bud, it's okay.
What's the difference between turtle and tortoise, Chris?
Anybody? Anybody?
Land and sea.
Yeah, that's right. Tortoises are terrestrial. Turtles tend to be aquatic.
So one thing that you'll look at is basically their arms. So, and Chris knows a lot more of the shape and everything else, but for the average person, you can really tell the difference between this and a box turtle.
Yeah. The gopher tortoise burrow. We'll go see an undisturbed gopher tortoise burrow in a second.
Okay.
What's really cool is the shape of the burrow is a half moon shape. It's very distinct, but it's because these guys look like a half moon, right?
Yeah.
They're half moon shaped too, so they fit right in the burrow. Yeah. This is the mouth of a gopher tortoise burrow. As you can see, we have the apron, like we were talking about, big sandy area where they're pushing all that sand out. I would think this one is occupied, but you never really can tell. It's clean, looks occupied. Here's to hoping we catch one. It's got the distinct half moon shape, right? Tortoise shaped hole. Get a little closer, just trying to stay off the apron. We still got to probe that for eggs. Got a little stinging nettle right next to the mouth of the burrow. I can see you're tracking it. You see where he comes in? He's got a little trail. Sometimes when you're doing the transect surveys, you can see the trail and it'll just be like a little tortoise belly scoot. And you're like, well, looks like someone came through here, you know, and you follow that right to the mouth of the burrow. I think that's how I found this one. Oh, good. Nobody home. All right, we got one more to look at.
So we've been out here all day looking for gopher tortoises, and we have been able to find one adult and one juvenile tortoise, and we're right here at the last burrow site hoping to find another one of those beautiful creatures. Stay tuned to see if we do.
A lot of times if possum or armadillos, any kind of mammal really wants to get in the burrow and use the burrow as a commensurate species, it'll bring a bunch of stuff in there, make a little bed. So it looks like we hit a possum bed.
Ah.
Well, we were only able to find those two tortoises, but we are happy to report that both tortoises are off to their new habitat that Chris talked about. Let's follow along.
Alright, we're releasing our little baby juvenile. He weighed in at 0.26 kilograms and has a carapace length of 111.76 millimeters. And he's going to be the first tortoise at Durham West. Yay! Look at all of our planted pines starting to really grow up. So he should be the first tortoise we're releasing into this silt fence. Alright, I've already dug him a little starter burrow. Right next to a little blackberry patch. We have some blueberries over there, so he should be well set. Alright. Bye, little guy. Alright. Here's number 2. He has his scoot marked. He's gopher tortoise number 2. He is going right next to his brother. And our soft release pin here. Dug him a little starter burrow just to get started. The old ones tend not to like them very much, but we're gonna try it out. Look at that. New home. Alright. Alright.
There you have it. The two gopher tortoises have made it to their new home. Although they have been transitioned off-site, there's a very strong likelihood that they could find their way back to the ranch, and we will be sure to welcome them back if they do. This is Hope, signing off.